Hey superstars, Ray here for Power Band Podcast and Kiwi Rider, and you might see on the back there I've got the cheeky wee WR. It's a 2003 WR250. I did a whole lot of maintenance on it, getting it ready for Tussock Buster 2019, which of course that was a sad story because it never happened. So this is, since it got its new chain and sprockets and everything else, its first ever outing. And we are off to Judds Farm Trail Ride with Craig, who we went riding with earlier in the year. So without further ado, let's get into it. Righto, this is it. We've done the rider's briefing. WR is good to go. Well, a video actually, Craig. This is Craig, the well-known Craig. What are you riding, Craig?
I am riding a 2011 YZF 450. It's done about 245 hours, something like that. Had to rebuild at 213.
Nice. And there's my WR, the old 2003 WR, right beside a 2014 WR, making me a bit jealous.
And then there's one further up, which is about a 2018 or 19.
Oh, don't tell me that. Right, let's get on the trails. Alright, kicking off on the trails and through this nice little tight single track in the Manuka Forest. Manuka? It's probably Manuka, something like that anyway. Skipping ahead a little bit, some nice rolling hills, and your first opportunity to get a few wee jumps in. Get a little bit of air as you warm up onto the trails. We come down to the bottom of this hill and we pass through our first river crossing and past the kids track as well. Now this is where I had my first issue. It was quite wet and I thought, well, why not just make our own track further off to the right here? Ah, looks alright. Yeah, let's power on through the weeds. Oh, hang on, oh bugger. Oh, that's not gone well. Oh, now we're blocking the track for everyone else. This is where I decided that I had another issue. The brand new clutch lever assembly that I'd put on the bike is broken. So, back to the car park to work out what we're going to do about that. Let's try that again. Luckily, Craig managed to find a new clutch lever assembly for me to borrow. Will be a little bit easier on this one, I think. So right there is where the kids' track was. And we go through these wee river crossings and then wind up the gully. A little bit ginger through here. I might just go through the wet stuff. And we get into our first decent hill climb, the proper hill climb too. This caught a lot of people out. Here we go. So we've got a wee water crossing there. And from there it's all uphill. As you can see, these are a few riders who got caught out earlier on. It's quite a long hill though, about maybe 4 to 6 minutes uphill. It levels off in sections as you can see here. More bikes on the side of the track, and I had my first wee oops. Too much power into the back wheel on too much of an angle, so we lost the back wheel there. Managed to keep going though, no dramas. The WR's got a nice bit of low down power. carry on through the gorse, and we hit the traffic jam. Now the secret to this hill is to not stop. So as soon as you find somebody blocking the road, you've got no hope. Good old Ag 200 there as well. It's a little bit easier to get going on the WR than it is on some of these motocross bikes, but when the road is completely blocked, you've got nowhere to go. That guy almost lost his RM. And here's where I decided to make my own trail again. I don't know why I tried that, because it didn't go well the first time and clearly didn't go well the second time either. So we'll just sit on the hill and watch a couple of these guys go up, I think. Catch your breath, and then give it another crack. Once you get moving, it's not bad to keep moving, but it's getting going in the first place on that kind of gradient is the hard bit. And we made it to the top. We'll skip forward a bit here because I spent a lot of time waiting. This is probably another 4Ks along the trail, and we're out the back of a pine forest here in some really slippery clay. And coming up here is where I forget that I'm on really slippery clay. I grab a handful of the front brake and lose it. This was an interesting obstacle for a trail ride. You're not often required to skip trees like this. And off back into the pine forest. And then we come out on the west side of the hill again, overlooking the Pauatahanui Inlet. You can see the South Island off into the distance here as well. Skipping across some gorgeous rolling hills, some paddocks, and we're making our way back down towards State Highway 58. Here we are just above State Highway 58, and we follow this fence line down towards the road. And then we go into the only two-way section of the trail ride, which takes you down to a culvert where you go under State Highway 58 and go and do some trails on the other side of the road. Of course, then you circle back on yourself and you come back through the culvert. The culvert was tight, as you'll see in a second. It was really only wide enough for your handlebars. Check that out. And this is the only section really worth showing on the other side of the road. This is a rather decent hill climb, not as good as the one, not as steep as the one at the start of the trail ride, but still definitely a good one. If it was wet, this would be really slippery. WR just easing up the hill climbs. If you get to a point where you get stuck, just stick it down into first and keep the power on. Generally, it'll get you up the hill pretty well. And that's about all I've got to show you. Thanks very much for watching this video from the Judds Farm Trail Ride. Judds Farm at the top of the Haywards Hill in the Wellington region between Pauatahanui and Lower Hutt. Hit that subscribe button if you wouldn't mind, and don't forget to hit the bell icon as well. Thanks very much once again for watching, and keep your eyes on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Powerband Podcast and facebook.com/Kiwi Rider. Till next time, hooroo!